What up, y'all? Today's episode is brought to you by RV Fix. Let's walk through a quick scenario. You're on your RV trip that you've been planning for months and bam, something goes wrong. Slide won't move, fridge quits, the power's out. Now, instead of cracking open a cold one, it's fixing time. Total buzzkill, right? That's where RV Fix comes in. Call 1-844-66-RV-FIX and get connected via video call with a master RV technician. No middlemen, no dealership runaround, just real help, fast. And over 40% of these issues are fixed on the first phone call. If it's more serious, we've got you. We'll order parts and get warranty approval within hours, not weeks. Then we can either ship the parts to you and walk you through the fix on a second video call, send a mobile tech from our 2,000 plus tech network, or have you drop it off at the dealership once everything's ready to roll. And even better, you get to keep your rig during this whole process. No more waiting 4 to 6 weeks for basic repairs. With RV Fix, most shop fixes are done in just 3 days. Skip the stress, call RV Fix, and get back to camping, relaxing, and making memories. Use promo code RVVoice at checkout to get a 60% discount and lock in your price for years to come. Learn more at rvfix.com. Hope you enjoy this episode. All right, welcome to another episode of the RV Voice. This is actually round 2 of today. We're trying to get this thing rolling right. Connection issues, it happens all the time. So that being said, this couple has been camping for quite some time, separately and together about 20 some years, they said, and they've had almost every type of RV, either together or separate. They had a pop-up, travel trailer, toy hauler, Class A, Class C, and now they're in the Class C, Super C, full time. They've been doing it for 1 year. They have a doggo, and we're going to talk about all of it. So that being said, welcome Tina and Eric with the Nomad Nickles. Thank you so much for being here. Much appreciated.
How you doing?
Good. We can hear you. Okay, all right. All right. Let's hopefully this thing works this time, and we'll roll right through it. So anyway, we were just talking like 5 minutes ago, and then we just completely lost connection, probably on my end. Eric, you said you used to do kind of camping out of the back of the pickup. I still do that. I'm a ground sleeper, and I can take RVs whenever I want just for fun, but I like to sleep on the ground and be part of Mother Earth for a little while, But you said you started doing that, and then you had the pop-up. Sounds like before you and Tina got together, and then you kind of that all transitioned into the next thing, right? So talk about that real quick, and then we can kind of move on to the actual getting into Class C and then full timing, if you would.
So yeah, with the pop-up, if you get out there, like you said, just sleeping in a tent on the ground, your sleeping bag, that's awesome. But sometimes it's nice getting started in your RV life. And the pop-up's a great way to do it. They're compact, like a suitcase. You load them up and head off and enjoy. And if you like that type of lifestyle, then you just start graduating up from there. And that's what we've kind of done, from the pop-up to toy hauler, travel trailers, Class A, and now Super C.
What was in the toy hauler? What did you take with the toy hauler?
So we had a Suzuki Samurai. We did a lot of off-roading in, dirt bikes, and our quads. It was kind of custom built, so I could get it all in there. Might have been. Oh wait,
you put all of that in there?
Yes. Yeah, all that went in there.
Oh my Lanta.
2 dirt bikes and a Suzuki Samurai.
What year was this?
It was a 2000. It was a 2000 Dunes toy hauler.
When did we do it though? What years? 2008.
Yeah, that was 06 to 08, 09, 2010.
Yeah.
So that was that was really kind of right before side by sides were really a thing. Like that's why.
Right.
Yeah, you were taking a Suzuki Samurai.
Yeah.
Mobbing in the desert.
Basically a side by side with AC.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're about the same size. They go on those same little trails.
Yeah.
The Suzuki the Dunes toy hauler, I've never heard of that. It's probably, I don't even know if they still make that. They might. That was all when you guys were in California at the time, right?
Yeah.
So you were taking advantage of the desert, or did you go, I guess, just east of San Diego, kind of Joshua Tree area?
Yeah, mostly to Akatia Wells or Glamis, the sand dunes.
Okay.
Never been down to those areas. It's east up the 8 towards Arizona.
Oh, so Havasu, not too far.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Same,
very cool.
Same kind of area. Yeah.
So I'm guessing the Suzuki Samurai was the last thing in there.
First. Wasn't it the first?
No.
Or was last?
So the kitchen was kind of modified a little bit to give it more space to go in. And then I had a ramp. So I could put the quads and the dirt bikes in, and then I had rigged up a ramp that went in so the Samurai could go in up on the ramp over the tops of the bikes and then still sit at the back.
I had to do dishes in the bathtub.
Oh my Lanta.
Dragged it all in.
Jesus. Oh yeah, I'm a dirt bike guy through and through. So I mean, I had a YFZ 450 as an 04, and I actually broke my collarbone, broke my elbow on it. Should have killed me. Yeah, it knocked me out. I was out cold for like 5 minutes. Like it was a pretty bad deal.
Do you still ride?
Oh yeah, of course. You can't kill me that. Can't kill me that easy. Literally, my dad was so mad because he bought the YFZ 450 quad. It's a racing quad. It was like 85 mile an hour 4-wheeler, and it'd get there fast. And I was 14. He's like, well, oh my gosh, I had so much fun on that thing. I think I kept it till I was like 20. I was either 20 or 21, and we finally punted it. I mean, I don't think we really lost much money on the thing. Besides, I literally, when I wrecked it, I bent not only the handlebars, I bent the steering shaft. And the steering shaft, if you've seen them, I mean, they're solid. And I smashed that. And yeah, I'm just built like iron, apparently.
It's those days. That was such a fun time for us when our kids were little and we all had bikes and stuff and we just mobbed through the desert. I love that time. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I bet. I can only imagine. How many kids did you guys have?
We have two.
2?
1 boy, 1 girl.
No. What a perfect. How easy, huh?
I know. It is. That's what prompted all of this is our last kid moved out and we decided, what the heck are we doing here by ourselves? Let's go party on.
Live in an RV full time and travel around.
So that was kind of the, I guess, inspiration or whatever. So you guys, you're both from California, San Diego, right? I mean, you lived there for a good portion of your life.
All of our lives.
Okay, you're from there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. What a terrible place to grow up.
I know it sucked.
So your kids are, what age are they?
30 and 22.
30 and 22. There's a little bit of gap there then.
Yeah.
We're a blended family.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you guys ended up, that was kind of the kicker to push you guys out into the full-time life. What were you guys doing for like jobs and how'd you make it work, I guess, moving out of that?
Well, I'm a land surveyor. Been a land surveyor for 40 years, I guess. And the company I've been with, I kind of went to them and said, hey, I would like to go remote, kind of move into a supervisor, support role rather than working in the field. And they helped accommodate that. The years of experience and knowledge, they still wanted to keep. So I was very fortunate in that I didn't have to change jobs. I just kind of grew into a different position.
Well, that makes it easy.
Yeah, that was nice.
That's what funds all this. It's his job.
Yeah. All right. What were you doing, Tina?
I was a parent educator for 13 years. I worked at a middle school really close to home, and I worked there for like all the years my son went to school and stuff like that. It was perfect. We always had a dream of when we retired to be full-time RVers, but once the last kid moved out, like I said, and he got the opportunity to work remotely, we just decided to expedite things and sold our house, got rid of all of our stuff. We have a small storage. We don't need it. We don't need anything.
Yeah.
Our kids don't want our old stuff, excuse me. It's just,
okay.
It's just things. It's just things.
Yeah.
And we have everything that we want right here. It's just so cool what we're doing. I love it so much.
So we had to transition. We can't retire yet, so we're still working. So she work camps at the
Me
different
too.
campgrounds,
Yep.
and we get to travel around and stay at different places. And then I work remote. So a few more years, we'll be able to retire and not have to work. But we like to work. You need to work.
I really do. As much as I thought special ed was my calling and working with kids that were naughty, I guess you could say. I love the naughty kids. I feel like being in this position, and I work at the office at every campground I've worked at, and I just feel like I'm meant for it. I just love it so much. I love engaging with the people. I love customer service. I love being friendly. I love being helpful. I love it.
Really?
So Michelle,
yeah. What about with Michelle?
Holla at you, girl. When you start obtaining more parks, I'll be managing.
I'll be there. We'll plug that in. I'll tag her in that. How about that? Yeah, Michelle was great. We had her on a while back here, and it was kind of gave me a quick rundown. I kind of gave it. Well, I appreciate that. I gave it. It kind of gives a quick rundown of how she does it, goes about it, kind of the Cody Sanchez method of buying out businesses. It's just a lot more.
It's really impressive.
It is. Oh, it's a lot of work too, because you're playing. It's not just buying a park. She looks at buying parks with like other opportunities within that park. Whether it's a laundromat, an arcade, a pool. Like you still got to pay for those things. Those are separate businesses within the same business, and then she just separates. So then she separates the land from the business itself. I'm like, oh my goodness, she's like that's a lot going on. It is like a dream of mine though, because like. She is brilliant. I think it'd be a great way to go about all that. But anyway, so you guys sounded like you wanted to, I guess, how do I say that? What's the right word I'm looking for? You wanted to be minimalistic. You had the desire to be minimalistic after having all your old shiz. Your kids didn't want your shiz. I can't curse. You can if you want to.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
But anyway, you wanted it. You like the idea. You don't need a whole lot, right? That's the kind of the whole idea of minimalistic lifestyle, and then the full-time RV life. You're cutting from. I'm guessing you had near 1,500 to 2,000 square foot home ish, maybe. San Diego, California homes can vary, obviously. But then you dropped into a travel trailer first for your full-time life. Which is very not spacious. And then you're in a super seat. It's a little different, a little more room in some aspects. But how did you really prepare for that? Like what steps did you take to like kind of downsize yourself for that?
Well, it was so awesome. And you know how sometimes it just seems like your home and taking care of it and yards and just all your stuff is like a lot of weight on your shoulders. There's no freedom.
Oh yeah.
And we just started garage sailing and Facebook Marketplace and just got rid of all the stuff and minimized it down to enough to go in one storage for now, which we still got to figure out what we're going to do with all that.
Yeah, we still have a storage unit because when we first went out on this journey, it was like, let's go explore America and figure out where we want to plant roots. Let's just get out of California, cash out with our equity, and go figure out what we're going to do. And then once we hit the road and started doing this, we didn't see any end in sight. There's so much to see, and we just want to go, that it's going to be a bit before we settle down. We don't have grandkids yet or anything, so we just feel like this is our time. We already raised our kids and did everything. Let's just go have the most fun and go see everything that we can. And then when we have grandkids, we'll figure that out.
There you go. I mean, I've heard that from several people, like the idea of, I had a great conversation with Kirsten Smith at Tactical Trekkers. We were talking about, she had like no time to almost be, how does she say that? She had no time to be like emotional. She just like, she had a job to do, and that's what her job was, like this. And like, she had no time to actually focus on being there or being present because of the weighted shoulders of like having a house. So you have to take care of this, have to do this now, have to think about this, have to take the dogs out, have to take the kids to school, have to take the kids to practice. And then like the fact that she came out of that to do this full-time RV life, there's a whole weight of, it's almost like you become a new person. It's like you just, you come out of the cocoon of being whatever, cocoon of being caterpillar. Now you're almost a butterfly.
Yeah.
I think this,
Transition. The
again,
big
like you're
transition.
supposed to have a home and raise your kids and, the house and 2 cars and kids and the whole bit. To kind of get away from that and just travel and be able to, if you kind of get tired of this place, you just turn the key and drive to the next place. The freedom is very nice and very relaxing, I think. From a stress standpoint, I'm very, very low in stress now.
Seriously, you think it'd be almost a little like other stress? I mean, there's other stressors, right? I mean, you're jumping around the country. Are you guys like major planners for the next spot? Or are you kind of just like winging it?
Yeah, we're scheduled for the next year and a half.
I'm going to go work at a park. We're leaving here in Florida at the 3rd week of April, and we're headed to Michigan. I'm going to work at a park there from May until September, or I guess we are going to work at a park there from May to September. They want a couple, so Eric's going to juggle both jobs doing that. But we've never been anywhere. We were focusing on raising our kids in San Diego. We had the desert, the ocean, and the mountains all around us. So we never really went further than like 100 miles whenever we went camping. So we're just so thirsty to just see everything and do everything. And we're really excited to go check out Michigan. So pumped for that.
We're at Michigan.
It's called Empire, Michigan is the name of the town. A lot of people don't know of it. I think it must be really small, but it's not far from Traverse City.
Oh, you're going to love it.
Bear dudes.
You're going to love it.
Yeah. I've heard of all the wineries and everything. It's like right up my alley. I'm really pumped about it.
Yeah.
You're going to be right by the Sleepy Bear Dunes.
The dunes?
Yeah, we're going to be right by the dunes, the Sleepy Bear Dunes.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a taste of the Midwest of Michigan. You're gonna understand accents in a different manner.
Okay.
Yep. And I challenge you to learn the game euchre while you're there.
That's funny. That's a card game that they play here at this RV park that I'm working at right now. I've never joined. I participate in almost every event here. It's so fun.
Usually do euchre in the middle of the day, and we're working.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Tell them sundown. I'll bring the beer. They'll come over.
Yeah.
We'll have to check that out before we get up there, huh?
Yeah, so we can school some people on euchre when we get to Michigan.
Yeah. Let me know your route too. I'd love to hear that because I'm guessing you're where at now. You're in Florida, so you're probably not going to get in the Midwest much.
Yeah, we're down by Fort Myers, so we're going to head up the coast to Charlotte.
We're going to stay one night in Jacksonville at a Harvest Host there. Go ahead. And then
Charlotte.
Charleston.
We're kind of going to take our way up along the coast.
Yeah.
Before we cut in and head up to Michigan. I guess we're not going to take the 75 straight on up. We're going to do a little bit of zigzagging around for a few weeks before we get there.
Yeah, we're going to take our time. We have some friends to visit in West Virginia. Our son's going to meet us in Charleston for a few days. So.
Perfect. Good times. Yeah. Good times. I'm excited for you guys. You've been doing it for a year and you already got the next year and a half planned out. There's no end in sight for you guys. Not at all.
There's no end in sight. No end.
That's awesome. So I guess this is a little kind of a weirder question with how you chose your first RV, because there's a story behind it. You guys chose a travel trailer first for your full timing, right?
Yeah.
That was the first RV for that. So can we talk about that and then talk about how you got into the Class C or the Super C?
Yeah.
So we had it was a Rockwood, really nice trailer. We'd had it for a couple of years, I guess.
Yeah.
We loved that camper. It was just a couple's camper. It actually had plenty of room, really. It was nice.
Oh yeah. They're fantastic.
So when we decided to go full time, we talked about, well, we would like something bigger, something we can tow a vehicle with, so we don't have to bolt drive. But we decided we're just going to go with this trailer we had in the truck, and then she would follow in our Bronco. And so a month or so into it, we were heading out of California, and we got pinned between a semi and a concrete barrier in the winds, and bounced off the semi and the barrier, and got a little ping-ponged and beat the trailer up pretty good. So that was on our way to Quartzsite, and that was when they had the big RV show there. So we limped into Quartzsite and upgraded to our Super C that we have now.
The next day.
So it wasn't even livable at the RV, wasn't, or what?
It was, but it got torn up pretty bad. You know, even inside, all the cupboards came flying open and put holes in the wall. All the cans came flying out, and there was holes in the wall. So it's one of those things like, you know, it's going to take a while to repair it. And now this is our home. So we don't have the option to put it in the shop for a week, 2 weeks, a month, and then anywhere to stay. So we just decided at that point, well, we were going to upgrade. We might as well do it now.
Goodness
Just
gracious.
expedited it.
Yeah. Did you guys have an insurance payout on that, or what happened? Did they total it?
Yeah, we got some insurance. They didn't total it. It wasn't totaled. So they did give us a payout, but we just traded it in. And they took it that way.
Yeah. We ate a lot.
Yeah. We lost a little bit on that one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, geez, what do you do? So question on, so you guys decided to take, you already had the Rockwood, because you had trailers before and you've been camping, a life of camping, right? Did you sell your place in San Diego?
Yeah.
Sure did.
We went all in.
You went all in.
We don't want to be landlords.
Yeah.
We don't want to be landlords. It's the top of the market right now. So we thought, you know what? Let's do it now. We don't have any family left in California. There is nothing keeping us in California. I mean, we do have great friends there, and we will spend quite a few months there at a time because my best friend still lives there. But that's not where we're going to plant roots ever again. So we're ready for the change. Yeah.
Yeah. And you showed me your Bronco. How's that thing? Where's it at?
The old Bronco that I showed you is in storage, which is the storage unit that we need to go take care of. We'll eventually take that Bronco over to my parents' house. That's our domicile. So that's in New Mexico. But we have a 22 Bronco that we tow behind the Super C, and that's our mode of transportation.
That 2-door or 4-door?
It's a 2-door as well.
No, 4 doors.
No 4. Do you like it? I've looked at them. I don't know if I still like the old 90s Bronco the best. The look.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I grew up in, right? I mean, I grew up around them.
Yeah.
I like them all. The new one's nice. They're really comfortable when you go off-roading. They're nice. All those bells and whistles, and the modern, you know, like I say, I used to have a Samurai, which was all old school. To have something that's just as capable with all the comforts and bells and whistles, they're nice.
It's fun. We take it off-roading as much as we can. It's fun.
Yeah, take them on the dunes. Take it out on the dunes out there in Michigan when you get out there.
Yeah.
If you get the
See
chance.
what's made of.
Yeah. That's for sure. So what advice would you give someone trying to select their first RV? For either whatever, say let's try this. Let's do selecting first RV for weekend warrior, and then we'll go to full time.
You know, I think there's a lot of great trailers in that entry level to get yourself started and see if you really like it.
God, there is.
You know, I've known a lot of friends that have gotten into it, and some, you know, don't, and some stay in it. You know, don't go too fancy on your first one. Make sure you're gonna enjoy this lifestyle, enjoy it.
Buy something that you don't have to finance, especially if you have to put it in storage and do things like that.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have room at your house to store it,
there's always expenses.
I wouldn't jump right in and get something brand new, or buy a brand new truck to pull a brand new whatever that you're gonna have to pay for storage, because that's just gonna maybe deter you from wanting to do it more and going out more often and stuff. Buy something that you could pay cash for and keep at your house and take it out as much as possible, and you'll get addicted.
Yeah. But if you have kids, you know, the travel trailers with the bunk rooms, that was something I really liked about it. Was the one travel trailer we had when the kids were younger.
Yeah.
It had the back bunk room, and you could throw their stuff in them and close the door, and you didn't have to deal with them. You know, if they were sleeping in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, if you're trying to make breakfast and you got the dinette made into a bed and you want to make breakfast and the kids are being lazy that morning, you know. So if you have kids, those bunk models are awesome.
Yeah.
But like for us, after the kids, we've got more of the couples, which was just, you know, for 2 people. Didn't really have extra beds. It was more for comfort and relaxing.
That's what I liked about it. Sorry, nobody can stay in here with us.
Yeah.
There's only one
bed. You give me a floor with AC, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Give me enough whiskey, I'll sleep anywhere.
Yeah, that's about true.
Same here.
Oh goodness. So you guys already had the couples coach with the when you started your full-time journey. But I guess then you did select your Super C. How did you go about selecting the Super C and why? Because I know that's a big step. And then you're towing a vehicle versus towing with the vehicle, right? If you did like the class, like a fifth wheel or a big toy hauler or whatever it may be. So why did you guys go with the Super C?
I think they look really cool. I just like the way they look.
That's it. That's the only reason.
One, I liked them, but I think there's a couple things. One, they do have a good towing capacity. So if you do need to tow something heavy or large or trailers with your, drag car in it or things like that, they do great. But from a standpoint of the serviceability of a Super C, it sits on a Freightliner chassis, which is a very common chassis. So with the way the front end and the hood opens up, they're very easy to work on yourself. There's mini shops that you can get them serviced in. You don't have to always go to an RV specific shop because it's the same as, the M2 and the S2 chassis that these, they sit on. They're the same as box trucks, tow trucks, the commercial fleet truck. So you have more ability for serviceability and the reliability of it. That's one thing that I really went for.
Interesting. So you're looking at it as versus a true Class A, the diesel pusher, when it's hard to get into, and two, not everyone wants to even deal with them. But the Freightliners, you're talking about serviceability in general as mechanics. People know how to work on that specific chassis, engine, whatever it may be. I'm not a diesel tech by no means. And I would be like, no, I'll pay somebody else to do it. But if you know how to do a little bit, it sounds like you do, Eric. Obviously, it makes sense. You can pop the hood. I'm guessing the hood goes forward, right?
Yep. The hood opens up and everything is there to work on, accessible, like a commercial vehicle. And you get the diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same. It's a Freightliner chassis with a diesel engine. If you get into a diesel pusher, those prices start to go up. If you get a regular Class A gasser with the front engine gas, they're in a better price range. The Super C with the Freightliner diesel with the front engine is kind of in the middle. So it's a good price point to get that reliability.
Interesting. I never really thought about that. There's not a whole lot of Super Cs out there for one. There's less of them, it seems like. Interesting. I think we had two of them when I was on the lot in Lincoln, and they didn't last super long because they're people are, from, doesn't matter. They'll find them from, I sold travel trailers and fifth wheels out of state all the time. I had one in Arkansas, New Mexico, California. I sent them all over the U.S. We've sent stuff to Maine, even from Nebraska. But yeah, so the idea of the Super C, that's a pretty decent idea. The serviceability alone on that, just being able to find the right one for you is the hardest part, probably.
That water went down the road too.
Okay. I know that in the Class A's, they're a lot roomier. We've been living in this for a year, though, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
Well, yeah, a diesel pusher with multiple slides gives you more room. But I don't know. I think we still have plenty of room.
Yeah.
Well, I think again, with the like a diesel pusher Class A, right? Just the way the frame is and where you're sitting, it's all on top of everything. So you get that front to back versus, the whole length of the Super C. You're missing 8 feet, 9 feet off the front end immediately. Yes. It's like, all right. You get a little bit of a cab over, sure, but you're not getting that full openness of two separate captain's chairs that turn around and open up to the actual space of the cabin.
Yeah,
so.
The cab, you lose that 6 feet in the cab for your seats, but when you're parked, it just becomes a storage area.
But that's his workstation.
Seriously?
The bunk. Yeah. So the way I set my desk up is the bunk that's over the cab. that's my desk and workstation. So my monitors and my computer and everything sits up there.
What?
He stands.
Well, yeah, I like to stand when I work.
So is it
So
like
I have it set up.
chest level or what?
Yep. It's about chest level. And I just stand between the seats and at the bed. Where that was a bed is now my desk.
Interesting.
He's got
That's not a bad
three
idea.
monitors up there.
Well, that's some ingenuity right there. I like that idea. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, since you guys have been at this for a whole year now, so what are some I guess what your typical day looks like? Since I guess Tina, you're doing the work camping and then you're doing the land surveying, Eric. How do you guys separate the time and then manage everyday tasks around that?
Well, I work a lot right now. I'm working 40 hours a week and I'm not used to doing that, but I don't mind it. I really enjoy the park I'm at right now. There's so many great people and there's a lot of events going on. It's just a party every day. It's winding down right now. The season's coming to an end, which I'm looking forward to a little relaxation after everybody leaves. But yeah, he works during the day. I work during the day. We're both off on the weekends. We just make our excursions on the weekends or in the
We
evenings.
usually try to, like on weekends, plan to go places and take day trips or, next weekend we're going down to the Keys for the weekend.
Yeah.
But like this resort that we're at is so much fun and they have so much going on. Like we get stuck here most of the time because we're having fun here.
Yes,
We
they
don't
have a
need to go
tiki bar
anywhere.
with the pool and the weather's perfect. It's just like, oh, there's all my friends at the bar. I gotta go. So
Oh no! Twist my arm.
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
So, we'll do,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shuffleboard, karaoke, bingo,
All the
euchre. I
things.
mean, so many things. So I think we balance it pretty good. Even if we were working a lot less, we would still find time to go explore and just check out what's around us and stuff. That's what we've been doing. We just get in our car and go explore.
Enjoying the ride along it. So, what are some of your biggest challenges that you faced in the full year of this? How did you overcome them?
Medical care.
Interesting.
And I've seen other people that you've interviewed, and they have the same perspective. You could tell about it.
So we were in California. We had our insurance was Kaiser, which I love Kaiser, but you have to live in their district in their area for Kaiser, and didn't realize that at first. So when we did move and then changed our home address that we had to do, had to change my insurance. So in the middle of this, changing insurances, finding new providers, getting back on different medications, that's been a challenge. And it's taken almost 8 months to get all that completed.
Yep.
Jeez.
So, yeah, I guess that's part of it is before you do this is get all that dialed in. And then, once a year, you come home to that doctor's for a couple months to get all your stuff taken care of. And then you could do a lot of it remotely.
I think nowadays a lot of doctors are going to virtual, doctor visits and stuff like that. So you can get, medicines if you need be in an emergency basis. But I have an autoimmune disease, so it's been really challenging for me to get a doctor to give me a prescription. But I finally did, and we're good to go. So, but it's like he said, it's taken 8 or 9 months to get that done.
Yeah.
But
Because it starts off when it has to change, and you call to get I'm a new patient, and I need to get in to see the doctor. It was a new patient. Well, that's going to be 4 months away. Well, we're not going to be here in 4 months. We're moving.
Yeah.
So it was, we had to start thinking ahead of where we're going to be to get a hold of those doctors 4 months in advance to get in to become a new patient. So there was a learning curve on that. Things you got to think about, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard, I've had, I think, 2 diabetic folks on here for that. And they say specifically for that one, it's kind of tough to get one insulin has to stay at a certain temperature. You can't let it get too hot or too cold or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's one challenge with that. But then challenges of actually refilling that because you're on the road, it can also be a problem. Someone had a really good response to that and how they did it. And I can't remember which one it was. If I remember, I will let you know because they did something really good about it. But yeah, that's a different one. So Eric, you were mentioning that you're kind of, it sounds the way you said it sounds like you're mechanically inclined a little bit. So how do you guys handle maintenance and repairs while traveling?
So I did the oil changes and the fuel filter changes and do all of that. So I can do pretty handy.
Mm-hmm.
I have the tools if necessary to do some things, but some things, yeah, it just depends on what it is and what we need to do. The toilet broke, those are pretty easy to change. I can't think of anything else.
Our water heater. Something
yeah.
with our water heater went out.
Yeah, we've got the Aqua Hot system.
Oh boy.
That went out, and it was a sensor that went out in it. One of the high temperature sensors on it went out. So again, looking online, you can find certain ways to test and figure it out, and then order the part and get those fixed.
But for your audience out here, they need to subscribe to RV Fix. My God.
And yeah, I think that is a great tool for some things that you come across that need. And I was thinking about the other day, what was it that I needed? That maybe I wanted to check. I can't remember, but yeah, there may be things that come up that you don't know, and it's a great resource to call and get some info and see where the places are.
No, they can walk you through the problem, and not all the time. It's like 40 to 50% of the time. If you're willing to get your arms, roll up your sleeves, you have a better chance of being able to fix the problem. And then there's more to it than that. You can get parts in warranty order, ship them right to you, ship a mobile tech right to you. There's a lot to it. Don't need to pitch the whole thing. But cool. Have you guys since Tina, you do a lot of work camping? Do you have? Do they charge you for like shipping packages and stuff like that, or you just like you get waived because you're working here?
Oh, you mean the campground?
Yes. Yeah.
No, I mean, basically Amazon is life, so they deliver everywhere. They even come straight to our RV. Amazon delivers straight to our RV where we're at now. But we do have a room at our clubhouse where a lot of people get packages and stuff like that, but there's never a cost for that. It's Amazon is life. That's all I could say. We even get our dog food. We get everything from Amazon, and a lot of it's on rotation, and then I just change the address to wherever we're going to be at. That aspect of my life is exactly the same. I probably don't order as much on Amazon as I used to because I don't have as much room, but there's lots of conveniences with being full-time and being on the road. That's not a problem whatsoever.
Yeah. Question then on that. So like cooking, obviously you got to get groceries. You don't order all your groceries off Amazon. How does that look like for you guys?
We have been at parks where the grocery stores were really far and not really in like an hour away.
It's kind of 50-50. We'll you order it to have it delivered, and sometimes we go to town, but it depends. When it's close and convenient, it's nice to have stuff delivered so you don't have to go anywhere.
Groceries delivered?
Yeah.
What?
Instacart, baby.
Yeah, like they're delivered to your door.
Yes. Sir.
What?
I can even get Costco right now to deliver to me. Yeah.
Dang, I've never heard that. I don't think I have.
Yep. And we do a lot of cooking. Eric is like a chef. He cooks really well. And because I get off work every day at 5, he does the majority of the cooking. And we're cooking up a storm up in here. We have a residential size fridge. We only have a 2-burner stove. It's one of those conduction, something like that. But it doesn't hold us back. We barbecue, we cook everything you could think of. Gosh, we've even made we've even smoked a prime rib.
Yeah.
In the oven?
No.
In the barbecue.
We've smoked it in the barbecue. Yeah.
What do you guys have? Grill or griddle, or what do you have?
The Weber kettle. The classic old Weber.
Oh, really?
Cook everything on this. Yeah, you can cook everything on this.
Oh, my goodness. Jeez and Pete's, yeah.
Yeah, we've never owned a flat stone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never have.
I have mixed feelings about them. I do like it, but you got to use a lot of grease, which is like I'm kind of I'm a semi health nut, but not like a major health nut because it's delicious when it comes off a black stone, right? But then you got to keep the thing clean but oiled. So it's kind of like it's either if you don't keep it oiled, it's gonna rust, and if you don't keep I don't know. It's hard for me to like. I have one. I have like a basic one that I take camping. It's 17 inches, but it's super heavy because it's cast iron. It's a giant block, and it's like the most awkward thing to carry with me. But I love it so much, and I like. Well, you can get a cast iron skillet. I'm like, well, what am I going to do with that? I still got to heat it up. Whatever. Yeah. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
We had one that came with our last trailer, the Rockwood.
Oh, I think
so it came with it. Connected to the side, had the little thing to connect it to the side. We used it a few times, but yeah, if you don't keep it, it's seasoned up, ready to go. It's always a lot of work to get it cleaned and seasoned again, and then try to cook on it. It's a lot of work.
How do you flat cook a steak though? How do you sear it?
Yeah, just a steak weight. And lower. You want low but high temp. It's a pain. Yeah, it can be really good. I've had great skillet steaks, but it's greasy and popping, and it needs to be a room temperature steak. Typically, you have to let the thing warm up completely to room temperature. That way, you can cook it and heat up the center. Basically, they say 7 minutes aside. I don't do 7 minutes, but
I did like it for breakfast. To get out there and cook some bacon and eggs and hash browns on it, sitting around the campground. I always like that.
Most definitely. Yeah. I'm getting ready for camping season because ski season is a dying sport now. Sad deal.
Oh
well. Oh, well. So we already talked about how you guys work camp. Let's kind of dive into that a little bit, if you don't mind. Yeah. Tina, you said, because you started this a little over a year ago, and that was kind of your main goal was to work camp, it sounds like, right? And now that's how you land gigs. How do you go about doing so in preparation for the long term? Since you guys are scheduled out a year and a half, I'm guessing that's around you guys work camping. If you don't mind talking about that, that'd be great.
And when we first started out, it wasn't something that was I was even thinking about. I didn't work for like the first 5 months, and I was going crazy. I love to work. I love to be with people. Mm-hmm. I love to engage with people, and I missed working a lot. So I started thinking about that. And I was like, okay, there's this work camping gig. Let's try to figure this out. So I created a resume, applied for a job, and bam, I got it. And it was in California, which we were in California at the time, even though we left and went straight all the way to Missouri and New Mexico and Texas and, visited family and stuff. We ended up back in California because we went to Stagecoach, a country music festival, for my son's 21st birthday, plus our daughter was there too. It was a big family thing that we were doing. And so while we're there in California, I thought, you know what, I'm going to check out this work camping gig. And I applied for one in Northern California at JB. It's where the redwoods meets the ocean. So the mountain air and the salt air was like a perfect concoction for my soul. We were right on the beach for 4 or 5 months. It was magical. I loved it, and I cannot wait to go back. I loved it so much. But from there we came all the way here to Florida. I volunteered at a state park on the east coast of Florida, in Hope Sound, Florida. It was the Jonathan Dickinson State Park. I volunteered there for 3 months and then didn't want to leave Florida. I was like, what else can we do in Florida? I like this weather here. So then I applied for this job, and I'm here until, like I said, the 3rd week of April. And then I'm going to go work in Michigan. But it's been different. It's the park that I worked at in Northern California was a typical campground where you had like 100 check-ins on Friday and then 100 check-ins on Sunday or Monday. And it was tent campers, RV campers, and it was party campfires. It was just, and I worked at the store where I took reservations, answered the phone, sold stuff from the store. It was just hustle bustle, very busy. I loved it though. And then I went to the state park where I was working at the visitor center, which was okay. It was okay. It was a beautiful park. It's just I didn't really get to engage with the people the way I really like to, but I'd go back and do it again. I liked it there a lot. But coming here to this RV park that I'm at it's a mixture of permanent people and campers. So there's
snowbirds.
Yeah, it's snowbirds. Yeah,
Snowbirds.
but there's some park
Canada,
models here. Everyone's from somewhere else. There's so many people here from Michigan that are going to come see me when we go to Michigan up there. So it's been. I have friends all over the United States now, and they range from 20 years old to 80 years old, and I love it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's super cool. So how do you kind of go about landing those gigs, though? Do you just reach out to them and apply for them, or is there like openings on their websites, or I don't know how that works. I've talked to several people that do it.
Yeah, there's quite a few Facebook pages on work camping. There's work camping with a K, work camping with a C, work campers uncensored, and then there's work camper news, and that's with a K, and that's a subscription, and I believe it's $40 a year. I pay for that, and I think that's been really helpful. That's how I landed the job in Michigan. They have a lot of resources on that website that comes with your subscription. They will help you with your resume. They highlight parks that people have complimented and love working at. It's a really active website, and I really enjoy looking for jobs on that. But there's all kinds of resources out there. If I can give anybody advice, it would be to, make your cover letter or your introduction letter, really show your personalities, show your lifestyle kind of thing, and clean up your Facebook. Sometimes you go and you cross-reference if these people that are looking for jobs, or you see them posting on jobs that you're looking at, and then you go, because I'm CSI Tina, and you go look at their profile and you're like, good luck, homie. Good luck, because it's just, you just gotta be vanilla. Don't put all your political views or anything like that out there, and try to stay away from the negativity and just be,
I think most of these jobs they're posting them on social media, so your social media presence is part of applying for these jobs and how they're looking for you. If you have a positive outlook and you're positive and everything you're doing is just, we're living and enjoying life, you have a lot better luck, I think, finding some of these camp host jobs and work camping jobs. They want people to be very personable, knowledge in camping, experience, and a great attitudes. It's a customer-based service. That's what they're looking for. So I think that whatever your presence is on social media, they're gonna look at that, and you can get judged from that. Whether it's right or wrong, that's the way it is sometimes.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, honestly, I didn't really. I met them. I've met work campers at several campsites, even here. I usually the camp host, right? That's at small campgrounds. The camp host is the person. Yeah. They usually have extra firewood. They usually have extra this, that, or the other. Maybe some water. Anyway, I've had some great conversations with those folks because they've, one was actually from Nebraska here in Idaho. And I was just in some random small town in Idaho, and I just went up to the host. I don't even remember why. I went up and talked to him, and just started BSing with him. He's like, shit, I lived in Blair for a while or something. I was like, all right, well, sweet. That's 40 minutes from where I grew up. But super cool. I mean, I can imagine that you guys met up just a whole slew of people from all over, and then you get to meet them again. So that kind of rolls in. We can talk a little bit real quick here. So, Eric, you are a land surveyor by trade, right? How did you go about, was it much of a fight for you to ask for a remote job?
Well, no, not really. They were disappointed they're going to lose me as the field guy doing the work in the field. But I don't want to lose, it worked, I think, for both of us. They needed somebody to manage some of the projects. Most of the work that we do are bridges and highways. So it's all transportation type work. So again, they needed somebody to review and check and do calculations for bridge work so that the guys can go out and do it. So it wasn't too hard to twist their arm to get them to give me the position.
And you've been at it for a while, it seems.
Yeah. So I've been surveying for 35 years. Yeah.
It seems like everyone has the opportunity to work remote these days. I know that's kind of a blanket statement, but you look around and it's like, oh, I work remote. Oh, I work remote. I work remote. If you work remote, get your ass an RV and hit the road.
get going. What are you doing?
Seriously, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Just do it.
I love it. I've tried to get them to be like, hey, just like, why? Like, why am I here? Like, let me go out and just go to these places and I can just walk up to random people. How you do this? Where are you from? You know? And I'm like, I'd have endless amounts of content doing it that way, but we're working on that. We're trying to come up with plans to get me out there on the road for a little bit. So at some point in time, we'll get there. Any budgeting advice that you guys want? One more time.
I was saying, I saw you got to go to California not too long ago.
Here's a Carlsbad
stuff. Yeah. That's our old stuff.
Yeah, you send me to Carlsbad, Cardiff, San Diego, any of that. You could send me there for no reason at all. You could send me there for the worst reason of all, and I'd still go. No, don't send me there. Anyway, so around full timing, what would be some budgeting advice? You know, work camping is a great way to semi-budget because you get a discounted rate or a free stay, and then you're getting paid on top of it. But what other, I guess, budgeting advice tips you could share? That'd be great.
I think one of the best things that we ever did was we got that Open Roads diesel discount card.
Yeah. Your fuel costs when you're traveling is that's one of our largest expenses. So look into the different things like Open Roads for the fuel discount.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one of the things that we started off with, and you want to just do everything while you're out there. Like it's, you don't realize, I've got a year to do this. You try to get too much in at a time. So you're going here, seeing this, buying this tour, or going on that. So sometimes you spend a little bit too much money just wanting to see things and see the sights. I think we kind of slowed down on that and budgeted a little bit more instead of just spending money and doing those. The work camping helps offset the costs.
But traveling is expensive. So for people to think like, I'm going to go full-time RV, it's cool. It is less expensive than the daily stuff of owning a home, all the utilities, stuff like that. But fuel costs can add up, especially in California. You know, traveling through there, feels very expensive. Where we're at right now, it's not very expensive, but it'll cost us, $1,000 to get up to Michigan.
Yeah, fuel. The other is, you have to plan for those unplanned things, breakdowns. If you don't have a budget for that and you don't have a plan for those things, they could leave you stranded. You've got to have some reserves. You got to have plans. I was just looking and double checking on one of mine because I have a leak in one of my tires. So I know I have roadside. So I was checking on what type of roadside I had. And the one I have does pay for repairs on the tires, not just to change your tire. So having those things to help offset those unforeseen things is not a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I knew that. Luckily, you guys spend a significant amount of time at most spots. It sounds like so your fuel cost goes way down. I mean, you still got your Bronco, but that's pennies compared to what this Super C, about 8 miles a gallon, maybe.
Yeah.
7. Yeah, I think
I think last year's fuel bill, because I track it all, was $4,500 in fuel for the year for driving around back and forth, which isn't terrible, but it's above normal expenses if you think about it.
Well, yeah, but you got no mortgage, you got, no property taxes, you got, there's a lot of, flipping the bird to Uncle Sam when you're living in an RV, in certain ways.
It's a big fat one. We flipped a big fat bird.
It's a real big one. Oh, that's good. Oh, shoot. So, well, very cool. Yeah, some good budgeting advice on that one. You guys mentioned, Tina, you mentioned you have friends all over the U.S. now. So I'm guessing you found some quite or a big sense of community within the RV world. But have you guys done? It sounds like you did Quartzsite. Have you done more rallies
Yeah.
and events along with that?
We'd really like to, but we haven't. We wanted to do like a Super C rally,
Yeah.
and we didn't get our tickets in time. And then now we're kind of committed to going to Michigan during the same time that they're going to be having their rally. But I have friends on Instagram that I've never met that I really feel we have a very strong bond. Gypsy Hustle, Heather and Cody, we've never met, but we FaceTime, we Snapchat, we Instagram, we text. Like, we can't wait to meet each other. We are really great friends, and even though we've never met, there's quite a few like that I just feel are my homies, and it's just a really warm.
Well, that was one of her things she was worried about when we decided to go and travel. I've been trying to talk her into this for years. And she's like, no, I can't leave my home. I can't leave my friends, right? I'm like, let's just get a van and go. Let's just go.
He's like you.
Right? I get a van and go live in a van. And
disappear.
Yeah.
You know, I told my kids when they're young, it's like, just go get a van and go. You
honestly,
can do it.
Honestly,
you know,
I would be okay in a van too. As long as I have
she
the toilet
worried the most about like her friends. And you're gonna meet so many new people and new experiences. And that's what's happened. She's got friends all over. And
I really didn't want to leave my job. My job was a big part of my identity, I think, and a big part of it was so fulfilling, and so it was doing God's work. I felt like, I don't know, I just loved it so much, and I miss the kids a lot. I do still keep in touch with the teachers I worked with and stuff like that, and I'll go back whenever I go back into that area, I'll sub there and stuff and see everybody again. But God, I miss it so much. But this really is, I'm having the time of my life. I'm having the best time of my life, honestly.
Can't go back now. It only took him, 20 years to talk you into it?
yeah.
I kept saying, I need more than just you. I need more than just you.
And you're getting friends from all over now. Look,
I know.
Doing the right thing. He was pushing you into something better.
Now I wish I would have done it sooner, honestly.
Well, what do you do? Can't have it all, right?
Yeah.
20 hindsight, but well, cool. So I'm going to ask you advice for beginners, two ways. How about advice for beginners for getting into just RVing? You kind of talked about it earlier. Don't go out and buy the newest and greatest and whatever. Buy used, buy within your means, right? Any other advice you give to someone trying to, buying their first RV?
Make sure the bathroom's big enough. It was always one of my first things. How big is the shower? How big is the bathroom? Okay, this could work.
Yeah.
Most of the time when you're RVing, you're outside.
Yeah.
But a shower and the morning routine is kind of important.
Yeah.
I guess it's not for everyone. There was a camper I was just talking to this morning because they were leaving, and they were here for a month while they were closing escrow on their house, and they moved from Colorado. And they said, a month in the RV, and we're ready to go back to the house. But they had a teenage son with them and a couple of.
Oh no! What happened? Well, y'all, I think their computer died because they just disappeared on me. That being said, advice for beginners, make sure the shower and the bathroom itself is large enough. I'm 6'1" and I've been in a couple RV showers, and they are tight. They are tight. You're kind of doing the whole elf, Will Ferrell elf thing, kind of going like this. Yeah, that's a little brutal sometimes. They had to just die right there. I mean, their computer, not themselves. They're still alive. We'll see what happens here. What else could I hit on since I'm still here? I'm not sure. The work camping thing is a super, super great thing. Let's see what I got here. I was going through and looking up the top search questions within RVing, right? What are the different types of RVs? So there's really only kind of five classes. So we'll start there. We got travel trailer, fifth wheel, and then drivables, right? We got Class C, Class A, and Class B. We also have truck campers. So that's kind of 6. There are some obviously mix and matches of all that. Toy haulers, horse campers, whatever it may be. There's a little bit of mixture of all of that. Anyway, travel trailers, you can start anything that's towable behind it, just a hitch, right? Just off the bumper pole. There's another word for a bumper pole travel trailer. Anything off of that, that's travel trailer. Fifth wheel, it is connected to within the bed, whether it's on a ball or a B&W hitch. It's actually on a full-on, basically a semi-hitch. What else? Let's start with Class A. Class A is the biggest. Usually the box, basically a giant rectangle that pops up. Oh, they're back. Oh.
It was us.
Hey, you disappeared. I'm guessing your computer died.
No, I think my hotspot says it's overheating.
Oh.
It's Florida.
The device is getting hot and will return to normal once it cools down.
Get the hay out of that place.
We have Starlink, but
yeah, I switched it over to the Verizon hotspot, and that was getting hot.
I kept talking. I just started ranting about my own stuff. I just started talking about most search questions. So we're just gonna leave it all in there.
I missed it.
Oh, you'll catch it later. All right.
We'll catch up on it later.
All right, we were talking about advice for beginners. You were talking about the Colorado folks that they were out for a month. They're like, we want to go back to the house. And then you also said that make sure the bathroom's big enough for all the morning routines, the 3 S's, whatever it may be. Anything else on that for the not full timing advice?
Not full timing.
If you guys are done with that, we can go into full time.
Well, are you going to be? It depends on your season. There's the 4-season RVs. So if you're going to be camping in snow, you should consider that. But most campers on the weekends, they're going out during the season, so when the weather's nice. So there's no need to spend the extra or get the extra 4-season RV.
There's no such thing as 4-season RV. Everybody listening, that is called tagged as 4-season RVs. You ain't taking a 4-season RV in Nebraska in the wintertime. It's not going to work. Now, Texas?
No.
Sure. No, literally. The other day, we had apparently they call it a 500-year event or a couple 100-year event in Nebraska. It was 75 degrees and sunny. The next morning, it was 30 degrees, and between 7 a.m. and noon, it snowed a foot with 70-mile-an-hour winds. 1,000 plus crazy. Poles were down. Yeah, like there was thousands of homes out of power. It was like, they called it like a fluke deal. The next 2 days after that, it was 65 and sunny again. So it was, absolute mess. We're tough. We're built tough in Nebraska. Not by choice, but by necessity. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so 4-season RVs obviously kind of plan for what you're going to get into. I've seen people camping less in snow. You just turn off all your water and empty everything out so you don't bust your pipes and all that. But what about for full timing? What do you think about that? What's a good piece of advice for that?
Tile floors.
Tile floors.
Tile floors?
Yes.
You have the aqua hot. You have the aqua hot. That's not fair.
I know.
Yeah, we've been camping when it was we were in Williams, Arizona, and it was down to 2 to 3 degrees in the snow, and it was so nice and comfy and warm. But I think the other thing about if you're going to live in an RV full time, the tile floors gives it a much more homey feeling, less like a camper.
My advice would be make sure you really like your partner, because you're going to be living in 200 square feet or less, right? And there's just gonna be times where it's just like, the mess, the clutter, or and you just got to be able to work through that and like your partner, or else it's just gonna make everything else seem like a big deal, and it's not.
Yeah.
I think when there's full timers with dogs and kids and stuff like that, I wouldn't sweat like the messes and stuff. It's like, let kids be kids, let the dogs do the thing. It's just relax and have a good time. There's always time to clean and do all that. But I know in an RV, you're always cleaning. There's always dishes to do. There's always vacuuming to be done. It's because every little thing, it's such a small space. It just looks messier.
It's amplified. Yeah.
Yeah. Just make sure you really like your partner a lot. Luckily, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe camping for a long time. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's no end in sight. We'll let you know when we're done, but it's no time soon.
Good. What about some misconceptions that you guys may have come up to? Like I've heard several times from full timers. I mean, I haven't talked to anybody that's quit full timing, right? Because why would I talk to them? But the misconception is like, I'm going to do it for a month or do it for a year. That's like, no, we're going to, like, once you do it, you're going to stay doing it. That it's easy, that it's cheap, that it's expensive. There's all sorts of misconceptions. So what misconception do you think would be one that's kind of gets important to you or stood out to you?
Misconception that it is cheap is a misconception. It is not cheap. There's a lot of content out there where people will list, their expenses for the month. And I think that possibly is fudged, or, they have a circumstance where they get to live somewhere for free. But unless you're able to live somewhere for free, it can be expensive. I mean, aside from the fuel costs of moving around, campground costs, stuff like that can really add up. But, state parks are really inexpensive. That you can only stay there for 2 weeks at a time, typically. I don't know. What do you say? What do you
misconception? It's not all. I guess. Okay, this is the one. When you go camping on the weekends and you're a weekend camper, it's great because everybody's there for the weekend. You're meeting your neighbors and everybody's having a good time. And full time, it's not like that every day.
It is a little bit.
A little bit, but not as much. I mean, it depends. Some parks I've been to, we've been in, people aren't as friendly. You don't get to socialize as much as I thought we would. There's others like here, everybody knows everybody. Everybody's really friendly. So not every campground has a social calendar, or everybody is as social. I don't know how to say that.
I think there might be some the people that were not friendly at the RV parks that we popped in at, whether we were there for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, depending on what we were doing, cruising through. I think they saw us as and they were full timers, maybe like stationary there. So they don't care to get to know people that are passing through. So I think that could be.
Huh.
But what other misconception or?
I can think of one on my side of things, not as a full timer, as a weekend warrior. The weekend warrior is like, you're going to have fun, packing up the camper, going out camping, doing the whole deal, coming back. You want to be done and be at home. No, there's a whole nother process you got to go through in cleaning out the camper. And then restocking the fridge. That's my least favorite thing, is taking the stuff out of the cooler and restock. It's the worst part.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I'd rather just stay out,
Yes.
When we were doing weekends, we would just come back in, put the trailer in its spot, plug it in, and I would wait until Wednesday or Thursday before I cleaned the fridge out. Because you're right, it burns you out, ruins a good weekend of weekend camping to put all this away. Oh man.
But also, we are the type of people that would be having too much fun, knowing that we have to leave on Sunday, and we would leave as late as we could Sunday. Sometimes we've left at 3 o'clock in the morning and go back home and then take showers and go to work. That's we didn't want to leave. So yeah, you just park it in the driveway and deal with the crap later.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Well, cool. So how many places have you work camped at so far? I mean, so since you started, that's you've only really stayed in 3 spots since full timing, or?
No, this is the longest that we've been stationary is where we're at currently.
Okay.
But when we go to Michigan, that will be the longest that we will be stationary because I'll be working there for 5 months. What was the question?
So yeah, the first 6 months we were cruising around. Then we kind of 3-4 months at one place, 3-4 at another. But we stayed at quite a lot since we've been full time.
I think we've gone through 17 states since we've been gone full time.
That's not bad. So along that journey, what are your some of your favorite places, things, food? What are some of these are standout moments?
I think I had a really great time when we were off-roading in Utah.
Yeah.
That was really cool. It was in October. It was pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty bitchin'. I had, living in California all my life, I had never been to Northern California or that far in California. So to see that side of California the California coast is beautiful up there. They have all those rocks in the ocean, and then the redwoods behind us. It was just, it didn't feel like I was in California. It felt like I was in Montana or something with an ocean. I don't know how to describe it. But
we stayed in Memphis.
Yeah,
there's so much to do in downtown Memphis with the restaurants. That was good.
And he's a barbecue connoisseur, so that was
it was the best barbecue I've had in the country. I think was there. Yeah, Memphis barbecue.
But yeah, I'd have to say my favorite place so far is Utah.
Utah's got way too much to offer. I mean, they're for the most part high desert, right? But there's so many different looks of that high desert. They got down in St. George, completely red. I mean, literally, I drove in there at sunrise one time, and it was, everything around me was red. My eye looked red because it was all gleaming off of me. My goodness gracious, what's going on? And then, obviously Bryce Canyon, and you got Moab out there, you got the Arches, you got Salt Lake in general. Then you got everything else around. Then they actually got the high desert, up towards the northwest portion of it. But yeah, and then they got, what else they got there? Is Zion down there? Yeah, Zion's down there. They got all sorts of good stuff in Utah.
So
we stayed on the rim of a huge canyon. It was Gooseneck
Canyon
State Park.
Gooseneck State Park.
Oh my gosh, that was remarkable. It was like
we could pull the RV up right there next to the canyon and spend a few days there. That was really cool.
Gooseneck State Park. Oh, geez, it's like a mini Grand Canyon.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodness gracious! Yeah,
cool.
that looks like the Bend. It looks like Horseshoe Bend.
So yeah, you can park your RV steps away from the rim of that canyon. Yeah, that was beautiful.
We actually saw people kayaking through there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's
that was a really cool spot.
Yeah. There's still so much that we want to see of Utah, but yeah.
Oh yeah. What do you think some unexpected benefits from full timing are, or from camping in general? Whether you're talking about you guys camping as a family growing up with the kids, or just like full timing as you two, whether it be self or family.
I think
families that camp together stay together. I think that was one of the best family building times with the kids.
Our kids would agree.
Yeah.
Yep, our kids would agree. Yeah. I think the unexpected benefit of going full time is learning that I freaking love work camping. I love starting a new job. I'm like addicted to starting a new job. I think it's so fun. I think it's so fun to learn new things.
So yeah, you get to change. You don't get stuck in the same job for very long, the same place. So after about 4 or 5 months, you get to change and go somewhere else. It's new experiences, which helps you grow. It keeps you alive, I think, instead of becoming stagnant.
And I think us documenting the whole thing, whether it be on our Instagram and stuff like that, I just think it's a really cool thing for our family and kids to watch us. That's mainly why we do it. It's, you know, for our friends and family to see what's going on with us and how we're doing, and just for someday to look back at it and be like, that was freaking cool, man.
Yeah, it is freaking cool. I was actually just doing that the other day. I kind of like, I don't know, a year or so ago on my personal like socials, I was just kind of making stuff like, because I go out, people are like, you're always somewhere new. I'm like, well, there's a lot of cool shit out there. I was like, why wouldn't you go check it out? Like, yeah. And so I, you know, I bounced around. I was just making my own videos just for gets and shiggles. Right. And, you know, it didn't do much, you know, for anything as a following. I did gain like a couple hundred followers out of it, but I was like, that wasn't really the goal. It was more for me to look back on of all the sweet adventures that I have done. You know, and share that with people. I was getting messages from people that I haven't seen for years and like, that's so cool that you're doing this stuff. I'm like, well, I mean, you can do it too. Like, it's not that hard to do. Just go out and check it out. It's all sorts of cool stuff. It doesn't matter where you're at in the country, or other countries for that matter. So, very cool. I like that. Families that camp together, stay together. I really enjoy that quote. I haven't heard that from anybody yet. So kudos to y'all on that one. So you have 1.5 years planned out, but you guys have no end in sight. What are some other future plans or goals with your RV journey?
I want to work everywhere. I want to go to Alabama. I want to check out.
Yeah, I think that we want to winter somewhere where it's warm. We want to follow the good weather. So where we go for the summers, whether we come to Florida for winter or California, but the summers we really want to get to all the northern states.
Yeah,
where all that beauty is up there during the summers. So we haven't been.
We've met some wonderful people here at the park that live in Warsaw and have lots of land in New York, and they tell us all the time, please come up and visit us during the summer. We have a spot for you. We've got a pad with full hookups, and we've never been there. This is the furthest east we've ever been. This is the furthest south we've ever been. So our goals is to definitely go to that part of the United States and see what it's all about. I was just looking at pictures at someone's phone at karaoke last night, and they were showing me pictures of the trees turning and stuff like that. It's just so
a fall in the Northeast. From California, we don't really get fall.
No, you got one season. Yeah. You may get a rain or two in the winter.
Yeah,
that's about it. There ain't much more than that. The Northeast, I haven't spent much time up there. I think mainly due to the fact there's too many damn people for me. And I think that's really the only reason I want to go up there. Otherwise, because of the changing of the season, specifically from summer to fall and fall to winter, that's a big one for me. The fall to winter, when everything's orange and yellow and red, that just looks incredible. Just because of the amount of trees over there, just plush. I'd love to take just hop in an airplane ride, a little tail dragger, and just go flying around. That'd be incredible. That's a big one.
I don't want to go to the city.
I think, though, what I didn't realize when we talked to a lot of people, there is actually a lot of open country up in that area, too. There is a lot of woods and back country. It isn't all city.
No. Yeah. But you have to get to the city to get there. If I fly.
Drive through.
Yeah. And, then you got to rent a car from the city, which is going to be expensive. There's this different type of lifestyle out there. I'd love to go to New York, go to Grand Central Station, and then actually check out the Central Park. That's a big one on my list, Central Park. I don't really care about the rest of it around there. I just want to go to Central Park.
Yeah.
Have a hot dog. Some guy that's mad at you and doesn't even say hot dog when you order it, and he says, I want this, that, and the other. Make it a pancake. Like, what? No, I said hot dog. I want to hear that Jersey talk, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That slang term from a hot dog, whatever. I want to hear it happen.
Yeah, go get a hot dog and a slice of pizza and see Grand Central Station. That's what I'd like to do,
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
We will. We'll do it.
Yeah, most definitely. You need to, one year in the Midwest, I'm excited for you guys to see. Have you ever seen like a real true thunderstorm? Like from a distance?
I lived in Texas for a short time. So Texas has some pretty good thunderstorms, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I love a good thunderstorm.
Yeah, we're just seeing it
we
from
were
a
in
distance.
Missouri.
Yeah.
We were in Missouri with the tornadoes, so that wasn't fun. But
No. Yeah, that's a little more dangerous. But we used to drive into it. My parents, we'd hop in the truck and go towards it.
The thunderstorm?
The chances of it hitting you are slim to none, right? But you shouldn't drive.
Are you chasing tornadoes or thunderstorms?
Oh, that was tornadoes. If there was a tornado in the area, we're in the truck. We're going for it. Yeah, that's just how we work.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no fear. We're built different in Nebraska, like I told you. Anyway, so gadgets and gizmos. I want to hear about what are the absolute must-haves for you guys. You don't have to give me brand or anything, but like you have to have these for your RVing. And then what about some like desirable things that you're like, okay, this for me I have to have, not specifically for everybody, but like for me. So like I have to have these to RV, and then like these are like I have to have these for me to RV, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The gadget that is necessary for the regular RVer. God, we've been doing it for so long. It's so weird. It's like, well, I know that when we first got this motorhome, it has a fridge lock, which we thought we locked and we didn't. So everything came out of the fridge, splashing onto our tile floor. And then as I turned around as the passenger princess to see what was going on, water, milk, everything just coming down the tile. So we bought straps for the fridge. And then we also have those bars that kind of like curtain rods for your fridge. We have those in the fridge. Plus we have the straps. Just because the little latch it doesn't hold. So that is necessary. I guess something that we can't live without, not we can live without it, but it's a luxury item that we have in here, is we have a bidet on our toilet. And
no kidding?
It's amazing.
Worth it.
Listen,
you gotta be a civilized human being.
Yeah.
If there's one place that use a lot of toilet paper, it's the RV.
Yeah.
You know?
That's pretty good. Got to be civilized, but yes, that makes sense because you're not supposed to use a lot of paper anyway with an RV. Yeah, or you buy the correct stuff that breaks down easier. Just use less. Get a bidet.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yep.
Get a bidet all day. That is a luxury that we love to have here.
Surge protectors, sewer hoses, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I consider that like a no-brainer, but I guess maybe the average person doesn't know that. But you should have a surge protector. Yeah. You just can't trust this campground electricity, and you need a water filter because you cannot trust this campground water either.
Yeah. Good water filters.
Good water filters, because even if you buy bottled water to drink, you still got to wash your dishes in this water. You're still showering in this water, so to make it the best water possible is important.
And then a screened-in tent room.
Oh yeah.
The screened-in tent room when the bugs are out, especially when you're at that time of year. Like right now, there's no bug. But
do you do that on a clam, or do you do that off of your awning?
No, it's the clam.
The clam, yeah. One of the instant pop-up screened-in rooms. Those are great. Easy to set up, and then you can get out of the bugs when they're really bad when you're outside.
Makes sense to me. I would. That's like the whole reason of being camping, right? Being outside. You don't need to be inside at all times.
Yeah.
But some people like to be, some people like to be that way. I'm not that person. I don't even want to be in the tent. I want to be outside in the water doing something, whatever it may be. Yeah, the surge protector is a big one. And the water filter, I've heard people do that. I've also heard people putting water softeners in their RVs that, live in them just because, you don't know what kind of water you're getting for one. And then two, you still want the skin care, hair care, or whatever it may be, because it does help. So we all know about hair care.
Yeah. I was talking to one of the gentlemen here yesterday because he has one of those setups for the water softener filter, and I was talking to him about it. It looks pretty nifty. I might be looking into that.
There you go.
What's nifty about it?
Because
Call RV Fix, they'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, this has been a wonderful conversation. I wish, like I said, I wish we could be sitting outside yours, whatever, be in the clam or being outside drinking beers. I know we'll get there someday. We'll get there. That's the whole goal. That's the whole plan. But what's like your why? Why do you do it? Why do you keep doing it? I know like you guys camped a long time, and Eric, you tried to push this idea a long time ago, whether it be a van, whatever, maybe even pushing your children to it, which is, commendable to you, because a lot of people like want to keep their kids close, like stay home, and then like they get mad when they leave. So cool for that. But like, what's your why, and why do you decide to keep doing so?
Life is short. You never know. And just get out and do things different. I see so many people get stuck in their job and they retire at 65 and sit down in a recliner and turn the TV on and do nothing until they go to the great beyond. That's not the kind of life that I want to live. I want to be active. I want to do things.
We like to have fun. We like to have a good time.
So yeah, I just don't want to get stuck in a rut.
It's easy to do.
Yeah.
Especially when you're raising kids and you're just doing the 9-to-5 thing, It's okay to not follow those guidelines. It's okay.
Yeah. Break from the norm.
Yeah.
And just experience life.
But it becomes your norm, right? It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Something different, something new. This isn't everybody's norm. This is my norm. Like, you don't have to follow. You don't have to. You march to the beat of your own drum. You don't have to march to the beat of everyone else's drum, or Uncle Sam's thumb, for that matter, right?
Yeah.
It's just so many more experiences we're getting than we would have had if we were still working our 9-to-5s and at home. We had a good time at home. We had friends all the time, and barbecues and get-togethers and work functions, and of course our social calendars have always been full. But we wouldn't have seen and done and met and all the wonderful things if we hadn't have made the leap. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Absolutely. I really appreciate having you guys on here. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we close out here?
I've talked about most of it, I guess.
Yeah, I think that stay tuned for more from the RV voice.
I didn't cue you.
Oh my God! I can't read and think at the same time. I can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
You read way ahead.
What a dork! I'm terrible. Golly.
It's okay. I love it. Absolutely love it. Like I said, I think we'd have a lot of fun if we had beer involved. Well,
this was a good time. I was really nervous about it. Because sometimes I get to just getting real chatty if I get nervous, but I felt really comfortable with you. I think you're really cool, and this was really easy, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Likewise, guys. I appreciate you coming on. I'd love to talk more about the toy hauler stuff someday. So we'll have to come back on that because that's right up my alley. I have 3 motorcycles sitting in my garage. That's what I do. I have a 1981 YZ125 and a 2002 YZ250, and then I have a old Honda CL350 that I ride around town for fun. Like that's like my style of stuff. So I'd love to do that. Then we can kind of talk about how you did that, because that's a whole totally different animal. Weekend warrior stuff that a lot of people do, and especially out here in the West, a lot of people love toy haulers. So yeah, cool. Now. Oh, it was muted the whole time. I got at the end. Oh, I can't hear you. No, I don't know what happened.
Oh God. Where'd it go?
You're good. Everybody, stay tuned for more from the RV Voice. Oh, yeah, that was good. That was